Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing.
In this final lecture of the course introduction, I want to talk specifically about AI risk management. Again, the objective here is to help expose you to some of the main ideas and concepts that are involved in AI governance. Here we're going to talk about alignment, AI risk management strategy, the importance of context when it comes to assessing AI-related risk considerations, and then risk impact and response. For the purposes of this lecture, when I'm talking about alignment, I'm referring to aligning your AI risk management strategy with other risk management strategies throughout your organization. There's another definition of alignment that is specific to AI, and that is the ability of AI systems to pursue and achieve goals that match the operator's intended objectives, preferences, and ethical principles. Essentially, how do we get these machines to behave in a way that we as humans would find ethically and morally acceptable? That definition of alignment we're going to talk more about later in the course. Here I'm focusing on risk management alignment. Again, this is making sure that different strategies throughout your organization work together in a complementary fashion to support your overall business objectives. And again, when you're working in any type of organization, you want to make sure that everyone's risk management strategies are aligned. Examples of some of the other business functions that you're going to work together with as an AI risk management or AI governance professional include privacy, cybersecurity, of course, the main business line, operations, etc. There are more. These are just a couple examples. Now, depending on how your organization is organized, every one of these functions may have their own risk management strategy with which they are aligned with AI. Alternatively, each of these business functions may be completely independent, and through some other type of larger governance body, they are brought together and those risk management strategies are harmonized. The main takeaway is that you understand that there are other business functions out there that have equities or have a stake in artificial intelligence, and you'll therefore need to work together with those other business functions. So when it comes to AI risk management, of course, you're going to have a strategy, and we'll talk about strategy and policy development later. We want to, as risk management professionals, identify, assess, and mitigate risk. This includes conducting risk assessments and analysis, identifying risks, and determining responsibility for mitigation and control implementation. If, for example, you are developing an AI system in-house, you're going to be using your organization's own proprietary data, and that data includes personal data or personally identifiable information, then you as an AI governance professional need to make sure that you're including your privacy and data protection folks, because there are most certainly going to be some legal or regulatory compliance requirements that center around that personal data usage. Throughout this whole risk management process, we want to make sure that we're keeping good documentation. Again, if we're working with privacy folks, then there's going to be a privacy impact assessment or data protection impact assessment. And we also want to make sure, depending on what our organization's change management process is, that whatever new system we're developing and deploying, we have the appropriate authority to operate, that we go through the right channels and everyone in the organization knows that this new system is being stood up. Context is king. Not all AI systems are built the same. They're not all going to have the same legal and regulatory requirements. There may be stricter requirements for a facial recognition technology system, for example, than there would be for your standard chatbot. Similarly, you need to consider who the system owner is, who's going to be operating and deploying it within your organization. You need to know what industry or sector you're in. Highly regulated industries like finance and healthcare, they are going to have more compliance requirements than other industries. You also want to look at your specific use case. Using the facial recognition technology system that's on your iPhone, for example, is going to be low risk, whereas having a facial recognition system that grants individuals access or denies them access to your office building is going to be more high risk. We also, of course, want to consider the social impacts of the system on society, the timing of its deployment, and of course, the jurisdictions within which our organization operates. Important risk considerations are identifying stakeholders. Again, what are the other business functions, the individuals within or perhaps external to your organization that have a stake in the system's development and deployment? What is the AI's business purpose? What are its planned usages? What are the potential harms? We're going to talk all about harms later on in the course. These include false positives and negatives. What type of training data needs to be collected, processed, prepared in order to train the system if you're developing it in-house or if you are fine-tuning a foundation model? And finally, is AI the best solution for this specific business problem? Maybe there are non-AI alternatives that would work just as well. And finally, throughout the risk management process, we want to assess the risk impact and how we are going to respond to that risk. Typically, and we'll talk about this later in the course, we are quantifying risk and then assigning a qualitative label such as high, moderate, or low. For a system that is designated as high risk, we may avoid using that system altogether, or we may modify the system to help prevent risk or implement certain controls. For a system of moderate risk, again, we want to implement controls as necessary to try and lower that risk. And then finally, for a particular system, if it is already low risk, or if after implementing controls, we get that risk to a reasonable low level, then we may accept that risk as it is. In this final lecture of the course introduction, we looked specifically at AI risk management. Again, the idea here is just to familiarize yourself with this concept of AI risk management so you can get a good idea for what AI governance professionals are doing on a day-to-day basis. We talked about this concept of alignment specifically. It's important that you understand that throughout your organization, you want to make sure that all of the different business functions that have an equity in your AI systems, that your risk management strategies are aligned. Remember, AI risk management is identifying, assess, and mitigating risk. We help to mitigate the risk by implementing different controls. Context is king. Every use case within every organization is going to be a little different. So it's really important that we're analyzing factors such as the industry, the specific use case, the social impacts, the timing, and the jurisdiction within which our organization operates. Risk considerations include identifying the appropriate stakeholders, knowing what our system's business purpose and planned usages are. We want to identify all of the potential harms, the training data that we're going to be using, as well as whether or not even standing up an AI system is the best choice. Maybe there are non-AI alternatives that would work just as well and perhaps have a lower compliance burden. Finally, we looked at different types of risk response. We looked at the qualitative labels of high, moderate, and low. And again, your organization, your use case is going to dictate the controls that you implement to modify that and to determine your risk strategy.